Hi Nana. We were learning about automerism. So in our previous class, we have discussed the difference between resonance and automerism. So now we will learn some more points related to tautomerism. So first of all, we will learn about the structural requirement for tautomerism. See, the given compound can show tautomerism only if it fulfill the following structural conditions. Okay, that means to show tautomerism, okay, the following structural conditions are essential. Are necessary. Okay, so to show that automerism, so the following structural conditions are necessary. So what are those structural conditions? The first condition is the compound should have electron withdrawing groups. Okay, the compound should have electron withdrawing groups. So this electron withdrawing groups should present in that compound. Examples such as carbonyl group. So carbonyl group is a electron withdrawing group. Carbonyl group means maybe aldehyde or maybe ketone. Nitro group, nitro NO2. Cyanide group, uh, I mean here it may be cyanide group or else nitro group or else aldehyde group. Okay, so like this, these are the important functional groups, so which are very essential. So here these functional groups, some more, etc., etc. These functional groups are said to be electron withdrawing groups. Why they are called as electron withdrawing group? Say, for example, if there is a chain like this, a chain of carbon atoms, okay, so here this chain of carbon atom, if it is attached to this group, what is this one? Electron withdrawing group. What happens? So these from this chain of carbon atoms, so there are electrons in the bonds. So these bonded electrons, they are attracted towards this group, towards this carbon. Such groups are said to be electron withdrawing groups. Okay, so here electron withdrawing groups are necessary for a compound to show tautomerism. Unless until electron withdrawing group is present, the compound cannot exhibit this type of isomerism, tautomerism. Okay, and the second necessary condition is compound should have at least one acidic hydrogen. At least one acidic hydrogen. Acidic hydrogen, okay, on alpha carbon. On alpha carbon in the molecule. For example, for example, so there is a compound like this. Let us assume there is a compound like this. See here, this is a functional group, okay, electron withdrawing group. So this is, as this carbon is a functional group, so the carbon which is attached to the functional group carbon or else functional group part, so the immediate carbon is said to be alpha carbon. So this is said to be alpha carbon. Alpha carbon. Even this is also alpha carbon only, because this is a functional group. The carbon which is directly attached to the functional group is said to be alpha carbon. Suppose if there is another carbon also like this which is attached to this alpha carbon, then this carbon is said to be beta carbon. Beta carbon. This is alpha carbon, beta carbon. Suppose another carbon is attached to this one, let us assume, then it is said to be gamma carbon. Gamma carbon. So like this. If there is any hydrogen attached to this alpha carbon, that hydrogen, so there are these two are hydrogens which are attached to this alpha carbon. Okay, so this is alpha carbon, and these two are the hydrogens attached to this alpha carbon. So the hydrogens which are attached to the alpha carbon, these are said to be acidic hydrogen. These are said to be acidic hydrogen. Why they are called as acidic hydrogen? Acidic hydrogen means, remember, so if any hydrogen atom, if it is detached, if it is detached from any group, if it is detached, it detaches as H plus. It will give its electron to this one. This hydrogen will give, here it is a bond, so the bond contains 2 electrons. Every bond contains 2 electrons. So the 2 electrons of the bond, it is taken by this atom, and hydrogen simply it leaves, it separates or else it detaches from this part in the form of H plus. H plus is said to be acidic hydrogen. See, actually acidity of any substance is due to the presence of H plus. Okay, so the hydrogens which are attached to the alpha carbon, what happens? So they act as acidic hydrogens. Why? Because here this carbon, this is a carbon, this is a functional group. So what functional group it is? Electron withdrawing group. That means it will take electrons. So what electrons it will take? This will take these electrons. So these electrons are taken by this carbon. These electrons are taken by this carbon. So as a result of this one, what happens? Now this carbon, on this carbon, so there will be deficiency of electrons now on this carbon, because this carbon has taken these 2 electrons. These electrons are taken by this carbon, but this bond is between these 2 carbons. So as a result of this carbon which is attached to the functional group, it will get electron deficiency, short of electrons. So now this carbon will try to pull these electrons. The electrons which are present between the carbon and hydrogen are pulled by this carbon. As a result, what happens? So suppose if this is the carbon, and these 2 electrons are pulled. So here I am discussing about this bond, carbon hydrogen bond. So here these 2 electrons are pulled by this carbon, and this will become C minus, partially C minus. Why it is pulling? Because it is in short of electrons. Why it is in short of electrons? Because the electrons which are present between these 2 are pulled by this carbon, electron withdrawing group. So as a result of this electron withdrawing group, so this carbon will get short of electrons, and these electrons are again, it is compensated by pulling these electrons, this pair of electrons towards this carbon. As a result, what happens? This hydrogen will separate from this carbon as H plus. Okay, so that is why these hydrogens are said to be, the hydrogens which are attached to alpha carbon are said to be acidic hydrogens. Okay, So that means if a compound to show acidic to show tautomerism, so alpha carbon should contain at least one acidic hydrogen. Compound should have at least one acidic hydrogen, okay, on alpha carbon. So then only those compounds can show the tautomerism phenomenon. Okay. So these are the two necessary conditions, essential conditions. So if these are not, if these conditions are not satisfied, or else if these conditions are not fulfilled, then that compound cannot show tautomerism. So I will give one example. So just CH3 COR. Will it show tautomerism? Yes, it shows, because so this is a electron withdrawing functional group, and here this is alpha carbon which is attached to this functional group, and this alpha carbon is possessing hydrogens. If hydrogens are present on the alpha carbon, then those hydrogens are said to be acidic hydrogens. So at least one acidic hydrogen should be present on the alpha carbon. So there are 3 acidic hydrogens on this alpha carbon. Hence this compound is, it will exhibit tautomerism. Okay. So to show tautomerism, the following structural conditions are necessary. Another example, CH3. Anyhow, we have seen this one, CH3. So here these 2 are alpha carbons and 6 alpha hydrogens are there. Hence it also shows tautomerism. Okay. Another example, so this is nitro group. So there is a coordinate covalent bond. Hence I can write like this. So I can write like this, right? See, look here, this is nitro group, NO2 group. It's an electron withdrawing group. So the carbon, this is the carbon attached to this electron withdrawing group. Hence this carbon is said to be alpha carbon. This is called as beta carbon. Okay. Alpha carbon is having 2 hydrogens, beta carbon is having 3 hydrogens. So we are interested only in alpha carbons. Okay. So these 2 are said to be alpha carbons, hydrogens of alpha carbon. Hence they are also called as alpha hydrogens. Okay, alpha hydrogens are acidic in nature. So electron withdrawing group is present, and acidic hydrogens are also present on alpha carbon. Hence this compound will show tautomerism. Another example, so will it show tautomerism? Yes, this also, because cyanide group CN. So cyanide group is electron withdrawing group, and this is alpha carbon, this is beta carbon, even this is also beta carbon, because the carbons which are attached to the alpha carbon, see, this is functional group, this is not this carbon is a part of functional group, and this is alpha carbon. Don't think this as alpha carbon. So this is alpha carbon, and to this alpha carbon this carbon is attached, hence it is beta carbon, and to this carbon another carbon is attached, and even that carbon is also beta carbon. So the carbon which is attached to alpha carbon is said to be beta carbon. See, on this 1, 2, 3 bonds are there, and 1 bond will be with a hydrogen. Okay, or else simply I'll write like this, CH. So now this carbon is having one, alpha carbon is having one hydrogen, so that hydrogen will behave as acidic hydrogen. So electron withdrawing group is present, and acidic hydrogens are present. So these 2 conditions are satisfied. Hence this compound will show tautomerism. Will show tautomerism. Let us see some more compounds. For example, a compound is like this. So this is aldehyde functional group. See, carbonyl functional group. See, I am writing even that also. So carbonyl functional groups means both aldehyde as well as ketones are said to be carbonyl functional groups. So these two are said to be carbonyl functional group. So this is a carbonyl functional group. This is aldehyde group. So aldehyde group is a electron withdrawing group. So first condition is satisfied in this compound. First condition is fulfilled. Even second condition we will see. Second condition is what? So there should be one acidic hydrogen. So now this is functional group and this carbon is said to be alpha carbon. Alpha carbon. Okay, this carbon is said to be alpha carbon. So now to this alpha carbon there is no hydrogen attached directly. So this alpha carbon should contain at least one hydrogen. Okay, then that hydrogen is said to be acidic hydrogen. But in this case there is no acidic hydrogen. Hence the second condition is not fulfilled. Hence this compound does not show tautomerism. This compound does not show tautomerism. Another example you will see. See, whenever you write a coordinate covalent bond, so the donor atom should get positive and the acceptor atom should get negative charge. Okay, and this is attached to benzene ring C6H5. C6H5 means phenyl. That means it is benzene ring. Okay, see, this is alpha carbon. This is a functional group. This is functional group and this is what? This is alpha carbon. This is alpha carbon. And on this alpha carbon there is no hydrogens attached to it. Hence no acidic hydrogen. Okay. Hence as there is no acidic hydrogen, at least one acidic hydrogen should be present for a compound in order to exhibit tautomerism. So as there is no acidic hydrogen in this compound, so this compound cannot show tautomerism. Okay, right, let us take another example. Phenyl group, that means benzene ring, phenyl group C6H5, it is attached to a carbon which is attached to another phenyl group, another C6H5, that means another benzene ring, and this carbon is attached to another one more benzene ring. So, and this carbon, it is attached to cyanide group. Cyanide group is electron withdrawing group. So in this compound, so electron withdrawing group is present, but this is alpha carbon. So on this alpha carbon there is no acidic hydrogen. At least one acidic hydrogen should be present, must be present for this compound to show tautomerism. But here in this compound there is no at least a single acidic hydrogen also. Hence this compound does not show tautomerism. So these are the structural, these are said to be the structural conditions or else necessary conditions. Okay, next necessary structural conditions for a compound to show tautomerism. So these conditions should, so both the conditions should satisfy. Otherwise, that compound should not, that compound will not show tautomerism. Okay, right. Suppose if there is a compound like this, right? So here this is a functional group. Okay, this functional group, this carbon is said to be alpha carbon, and even this carbon is said to be alpha carbon. Okay, there are two alpha carbons, and here this is also functional group. Okay, to this functional group, this is alpha carbon, and even this is also alpha, because this carbon is attached to this functional group directly, and even to this functional group directly. So now this carbon, the hydrogens which are attached to this carbon, so this carbon is the alpha carbon of this functional group and even this functional group. So as a result of this one, so what happened? This compound, or sorry, this part, this carbon will be given more importance. Why? Because here the hydrogens which are attached to this carbon is said to be more acidic than the hydrogens which are attached to this, because here it is this carbon is it is alpha carbon to this functional group and even to this functional group. There are two carbonyl groups, and between these two carbonyl groups, methyl group. This is said to be this is said to be methylene group. CH2 group. Okay, it is said to be methylene group. Okay, so if hydrogens are present on the methylene group, and if this methylene group, the carbon of this methylene group is alpha carbon, then those hydrogens are more acidic when compared to the hydrogens of this alpha carbon. Okay, so these hydrogens, 6 hydrogens are there. These 6 hydrogens are less acidic when compared to these 2 hydrogens, because here this compound, here this is alpha carbon from both sides. This is alpha carbon from both sides. So such a methylene group is said to be very active, highly active methylene group, and the hydrogens which are present on this very highly active carbon, alpha carbon, are said to be highly acidic. So these hydrogens possess more acidic nature than these hydrogens. Though this hydrogen, though this carbon, and this carbon, these 3 carbons are alpha carbons, but this carbon is highly active, and the hydrogens attached to this this alpha carbon is said to be highly acidic. So like this. So that means, remember that. So these compounds are said to be keto and 1 keto. So first, suppose if it is 1 carbon 1, it will be second carbon and it will be third carbon. So 1, 3 diketones, dicarbonyl compounds. Dicarbonyl. What is the meaning of carbonyl? Carbonyl means this group. Okay, so there are 2 such groups. There are 2 carbonyl groups. Okay, they are adjacent, not adjacent, they are alternate. So between these 2, there is 1 methylene group. Such carbonyl compounds are said to be 1,3 dicarbonyl compounds, or they are also called as beta. They are also called as beta dicarbonyl compounds. Okay, beta dicarbonyl compounds are 1,3 dicarbonyl compounds, because suppose if we suppose consider this one as the functional group, then this will become alpha carbon, and if you go in this direction, then this will become the beta carbon. Okay, so from here, if you consider this as the functional group, so from here this will be the alpha carbon and this will be the beta carbon. Suppose if you consider this as the functional group, then this will become what? This will become the alpha carbon and this will become beta carbon. Hence that is why, so such compounds are said to be beta dicarbonyl compounds. So di means 2 carbonyl groups and beta, so that means 1 carbonyl group is present on the beta position, or also simply 1,3 dicarbonyl compounds. Okay, so in beta dicarbonyl compounds, the methylene group which is attached to both the carbonyl groups, it is highly active methylene group, and the hydrogens attached to such a carbon in the methylene group are said to be highly acidic in nature. And see, actually tautomerism is due to hydrogen atoms only, alpha hydrogen atoms only. Tautomerism is due to alpha hydrogen atoms. So which hydrogen atoms will show tautomerism? Highly acidic, the hydrogen which is more acidic will show tautomerism when compared to the hydrogens which are less acidic. So out of the 8, there are 8 hydrogen atoms. So here 3, here 2, and here 3. So out of these 8 hydrogen atoms, so these 2 hydrogen atoms are very highly acidic hydrogen atoms. Hence, the tautomerism shown by this compound is due to these two hydrogens only, not due to these two hydrogens. Okay, right. Such compounds are said to be what? 1,3 dicarbonyl compounds or else beta dicarbonyl compounds. Right. Suppose if there is another compound like this, here also there are on the I mean 1,3 position 1,3 positions are carbonyl groups only, so like this. But here I am attaching one more carbon to this one. That is, there is only one hydrogen. In the previous example there are two hydrogens on this carbon, now only one hydrogen is there. So that means in the previous example it is a CH2 group, but now it is only CH group. CH group CH2 group is said to be methylene group, and CH group, this is said to be methyl group. Methine group, methyne. This is said to be methane group. Methane group, and methane carbon is present. Methane carbon is present. Okay, so even here also here 3 hydrogens on alpha carbon, only one hydrogen on alpha carbon, 3 hydrogens on alpha carbon. So altogether there are 7 hydrogens on different alpha carbons. But the hydrogen which is attached to the alpha carbon, which is present between the two carbonyl groups, it is more acidic in nature. So now the tautomerism shown by this compound is due to this hydrogen only, not due to these hydrogens. So the tautomerism shown by this compound is due to this hydrogen. That means remember that methane group, the hydrogens of methane group or else the hydrogens of methylene groups, okay, if they are present, so the tautomerism shown by that compound is just due to those hydrogens only, due to the hydrogens of methylene group or methane group only. Okay, right. Next. For example, if the compound is like this, if there is a compound like this, okay, such structures are said to be quininoid structures. Now this compound is said to be quinone, okay, right? So the structure is said to be quininoid structure. Here, any compound which possesses quininoid structures, they do not show tautomerism. They do not show tautomerism because one more compound which shows quininoid structure. There are so many compounds, so just I am giving 1 or 2 examples only. Okay. This is another example for quininoid structure. So the compounds which possess such structures are said to be quininoid structures. Okay, this is one quininoid structure, one compound, this is another compound. Okay, see, if any compound possesses a quinoid structure like this, then such compounds cannot show tautomerism. Why they do not show tautomerism? See, look here. For a compound to show tautomerism, it should undergo shifting in the double bonds and shifting in the hydrogen atoms, or else shifting in atoms and shifting of double bonds. Suppose, look here, if it shifts its double bond, so this double bond will come here and this double bond will move here. So as a result of this, what happens? So it should, this compound should convert into this like this. This compound should convert into this like this. Okay. Suppose if this compound convert into like this structure, then these two are said to be in equilibrium with each other, and I mean these two compounds should exist in that particular substance. But here the conversion of this compound into this structure, it is highly impossible. It is not possible. Hence this compound will exist like this only, it does not convert into this one. If this compound convert into this compound, then this compound is said to be exhibiting tautomerism. As it is not converting into this structure, hence it is not said to be showing tautomerism. Why this compound is unable to convert into this structure? So suppose here, because if it converts into this structure, this is highly unstable structure. As it is highly unstable structure, so this compound, it is more stable than this compound. Hence this compound does not want to be in this unstable form. So that is why this compound will not convert into this structure. Why this structure is highly unstable? What makes it to become highly unstable? Suppose due to the shifting of this bond here, so that means from here it was bond, so it was shift here. So now now the newly formed bond will be like this, and now this carbon is attached to two double bonds. If any carbon is having two double bonds, then such carbon is said to be sp hybridized carbon. For sp hybridized carbon, the angle between the two such double bonds should be 180. It is must and should. The angle between the two double bonds should be two double bonds which are attached to the same carbon should be 180. Then only it will be a stable form. But here, if you observe, due to the shifting of the bond from here to here, so now this structure will be acquired. Now this structure, in this structure, this carbon is having two double bonds, but here the angle is not 180. As the angle is not 180, it is very less than 180. That means this compound is suffering from angle strain. Due to the presence of angle strain in this compound, so this compound is said to be highly unstable. Hence this compound will not form from this compound. That means this compound remain as it is and it does not convert into this compound. Hence this compound as it is remained, it remains as it is. Hence this compound is said to be not showing tautomerism. That means it is not converting into other equilibrium form or other structure. Such compounds, though here electron withdrawing group is present and this carbon is having alpha hydrogen, though these two conditions are satisfied, but still this compound, the quinoid structure, the compounds which contain such structures will not show tautomerism due to that bond angle strain. It should be 180. So whenever a carbon it bears two double bonds, then the angle between those two double bonds of the same carbon, it should be 180. Then only it will be stable. Otherwise, it will become unstable. So here unstable, it will become unstable. So as a result, this entire molecule will remain as unstable molecule. So that means this is stable molecule. So stable molecule cannot convert into unstable molecule at any cost. At any cost, the stable compound will not convert into unstable compound. That is why this compound cannot convert into this compound. Hence, this compound remain as it is. Okay, this compound remain as it is. That means it does not show tautomerism. Right. Even here of this also the same story, the same explanation can be given here also. Okay. Right. And some more structural requirements, or some more points, some more conditions. What are the other conditions? So these are the two necessary conditions for a compound to show this tautomerism. And one more point, some more points are there to learn. So what is that one? So compounds having quinoid structures. Do not show tautomerism. So this is one, do not show tautomerism. So which one? Quinoid structures. So this is one point. Another point is number of sigma bonds, number of sigma bonds, pi bonds, and lone pairs, and lone pair of electrons. Number of sigma bonds, pi bonds, and lone pair of electrons remains same. Okay, the number of sigma bonds, pi bonds, lone pair of electrons remain same. Okay, remain same in both the tautomers. In both the tautomers. Example, we have seen this one. Suppose this compound is converted into its a tautomer. This compound, this is keto form, and this keto form is converted into enol form. So this keto form is converted into enol form. If it converts into enol form, so how it will be like? It will be like this. See here, this hydrogen, the hydrogen of methylene group. So it will move here. It will move to oxygen atom, and the double bond will shift between the carbon atoms. So now it will be like this. The newly formed structure will be like this. So this oxygen, so to this oxygen hydrogen is attached. So this hydrogen will move to this oxygen, and it will become like this. It will become like this OH. Okay. So now, so CH3 is present on this one. So one more hydrogen is left over here only. See, this is ketone group. So here this is keto form of the compound, and this keto form is convert into in all. In, this is double bond, in, and OH, all. In all, OH means all. So this keto form is converted into enol form. Okay, keto form is converted into enol form. Hence, this is also another compound formed from this compound, and immediately this compound will convert into this one. This compound will convert into this one. So like this, both of them will be in dynamic equilibrium with each other. Okay, see, if you count the number of sigma bonds, total number of sigma bonds in this compound and even in this compound, they remain same. The number of pi bonds also will remain same, and the number of lone pair of electrons also will remain same. Number of sigma bonds, here this oxygen is having 2 lone pairs, even this oxygen is also having 2 lone pairs, this oxygen is having 2 lone pairs, and this oxygen is also having 2 lone pairs of electrons. So that means the number of lone pairs of electrons, the number of sigma bonds, the number of pi bonds, okay, they remain same in both the compounds, even after tautomerism also. That means these two are said to be tautomers to each other. So that means in both the tautomers, the number of sigma bonds, pi bonds, and lone pair of electrons, they remain same. So always they remain same. So remember, this is important. Okay. Now another point. Third point I am writing here. See, tautomerism is a chemical phenomenon. It is a chemical phenomenon which exists. Okay, the chemical phenomenon which takes place, which takes place in liquid state, which takes place only in liquid state, only in liquid state, only in liquid state. Okay, see these two are liquids. Suppose if you take this compound, this is in liquid form. So what is this one? What is this one? So this is nothing but this compound. See, in this solution, or else in this liquid, only this compound does not exist. Along with this compound, even this compound also will exist. That means here in this liquid, both the compounds are present, and this compound will convert into this compound, and this compound will convert into this compound. Okay, so continuously this will convert into this one, and this will convert into this one without non-stop. I mean without stopping. So that means non-stop. So conversion of this into that, then that one into this. So hence this is said to be dynamic equilibrium. These two are in dynamic equilibrium with each other, and hence these two are said to be tautomers to each other, and the phenomenon is said to be tautomerism. So it's a chemical phenomenon. Why it is chemical phenomenon? Why it is called as chemical phenomenon? Because so due to this due to this change, so the one chemical is converted into another chemical, and another chemical is converted into another this chemical. So these two are not same chemicals. They show different chemical properties. Hence tautomerism is said to be chemical phenomenon, and which takes place only in liquid state. Okay, right. Next point. See, tautomerism is catalyzed by either acids or bases. By acids or bases, as well as bases. So that means this conversion of this one into this one will take place in the presence of acid. Very little amount of acid, or else very little amount of base. Acid or base, which should be taken in very little amounts, trace amounts. So that means, so either acid or base will convert this compound into this one and this compound this one. So that means these substances are said to be either acid or base. They are said to be catalysts. They act as acids or base. Acids or bases, they act as catalysts and make this conversion of this one into this other form and other form into this form. So that is tautomerism is catalyzed. Okay, tautomerism is catalyzed by acid as well as bases. So like this. So these are very required conditions or else structural requirements for the tautomerism. Okay, right. So we will learn about the classification of tautomerism in our next video.